Have you ever pondered the possibility of life on Mars? Imagine a bustling Martian city with towering skyscrapers, lush green parks, and the hustle and bustle of everyday life. It seems like a distant dream, but could it become a reality in the not-too-distant future? This fascinating journey begins with a process known as terraforming, a theoretical proposition to modify Mars's environment to make it Earth-like. Terraforming Mars is not a task for the faint-hearted. It requires monumental effort, science, and time. The first step in this process involves thickening Mars's thin atmosphere. This could be achieved by releasing gases trapped in the Martian soil or imported from elsewhere in the solar system. The released gases would create a greenhouse effect, trapping heat and gradually warming the planet over time. Once Mars begins to warm, the next phase of terraforming can commence: the melting of the polar ice caps. The rise in temperature would cause the ice caps to sublimate, releasing carbon dioxide and water vapor into the atmosphere. This would further strengthen the greenhouse effect, accelerating the warming process. The third phase involves the introduction of photosynthesizing organisms. These organisms would consume carbon dioxide and release oxygen, slowly transforming the Martian atmosphere into one breathable for humans. Once the atmosphere is breathable, the next step would be to introduce higher forms of plant life to further oxygenate the atmosphere and begin building a biosphere. Finally, animals could be introduced, and eventually, human settlers could make Mars their new home. However, it's important to note that this process would take centuries, if not millennia, to complete. Plus, the technological and ethical challenges that we would face are enormous. In this video, we've explored the potential for life on Mars, discussing the process of terraforming in chronological order. We began with the release of trapped gases to create an initial greenhouse effect and warm the planet. We then moved on to the melting of the polar ice caps to further strengthen the greenhouse effect. The next step we discussed was the introduction of photosynthesizing organisms, followed by higher forms of plant life to further oxygenate the atmosphere and build a biosphere. Finally, we touched on the potential introduction of animals and human settlers. However, we also acknowledged the significant challenges ahead, both in terms of technology and ethics. This process, if possible, would take centuries to complete and would require a level of technological advancement far beyond our current capabilities. So, while the prospect of life on Mars is fascinating, it's important to remember that it remains a distant possibility. But who knows what the future holds? After all, it's in our nature to explore, to push boundaries, and to constantly strive for a better understanding of our universe.